Hello, this is Kelly, bare naked face. Not that I wear a lot of makeup anyway, but I'm doing a video about avatars, and this is kicking it off, and I'll be sharing information about other avatars that you can adopt, whether it be historical people or people you enjoy. Of course, you choose who you want to dress up as, but usually with avatar um, cosplay or whatever, apart from characters you might adopt, you might be wanting to actually create your own identity as it's personified, whether it be costumes or the face. I'm doing Valley Myers, and I'm just going to share um, the face. This is the image I'm going to be using to guide me. As you can see, she's got the really heavy black kohl around her eyes, and she actually did that after having gone to Africa. I forget exactly um, where the tribes people that she was hanging around actually did that to keep the flies away from their eyes, but she just loved the look. Um, I don't know how well it's going to go because I'm not a makeup expert, and I'm going to keep it really simple. I'm not even going to put the clothes on because I haven't really got a lot of hippie stuff, or at least that I could find. But I just wanted to do the face, and I even got a wig, so that's going to be a laugh. But the face tattoos that she did, she took a long time to figure out what she wanted to do because, like she says, it's your face after all. And I love what she said about tattoos. I'll get ready as I talk. Um, what she did was, I'm going to have to take my glasses off. Um, she said that with tattoos, like your body is like a diary. It's living art, and usually it's the stories about yourself. I hope I'm not putting too much on. Again, like I said originally, I am not a makeup artist, and I'm not doing any sculpting or contouring or anything like that. This is mostly going to be focused on the face. Oh, the tattoo is on her face. But, she said that it's, the spirit into flesh. And the little, what she called spirit moustache, that's what I'm a bit worried about doing because I'm not using an eyeliner as a liquid eyeliner because I don't have as much control over a liquid eyeliner as I do with pencil. We'll see how it works out. I've never done this before, at least with Valley Myers, and I wanted to talk about. I actually made friends with her towards the end of her life. She came back to Australia after being in Il Porto, um, near Positano in Italy. She had such an amazing life. This might be a bit dark, but oh well. Um, when she was a kid, she, of course, was Australian. Her mother was well, I don't know how famous, but a violinist, and Valley was always in the arts, whether she was wandering off to the beach on her own with her little notebooks, sketchbooks, and drawing the critters that she saw, um, and other scenes. She ended up getting into dance and was such a vagabond in the early days. Would wander off on her own a lot. Of course, she was lucky that nothing bad ever happened to her, but I'm just keeping this face really simple because I just want there to be a base to put the makeup on. But she ended up going she went to England first, was part of a dance troupe there, and then got into a little bit of trouble with drugs, whether it be opium or what have you, and ended up in France, in Paris, on the streets, and was actually photographed a lot. by Eric von Daniken. Oh, I can't remember his name, but there's a book out, and she's featured quite a lot in that book because she danced in the cafes there. People were a little bit taken aback because she had no issue dancing with the the black people who were attending the cafes there. She was always very egalitarian, but she got into um, the drugs and but continued doing her artwork. I'm going to be putting up some pictures of her work, or I might even show the book here, which was how I got into Valley when I was about 20. There was like a whole table at this bookstore with this book. It was covered with them, and at the time they were $10. I wish I had known how rare they would have become in years later, because people are selling them for hundreds of dollars now. But that's one of her paintings there. But I'll just flip it through a little bit just to show you her work. Just beautiful work. She would use a quill and fine pelican inks to create beautiful work. I really love the era that she went through that was black and white as well, when she wasn't using colour. When I draw, there she is at her, when she was in Italy. When I draw, it's always black and white. I don't know what it is. It's not an aversion, but I don't trust myself with colour. Isn't that funny? There's another image that same image that I'm using to put this face on. But there's her parents. I mean, I could flip through this book and go crazy, but and her little fox. She had a pet fox for a while. Beautiful. But her work was incredible. Like, I love this one. Um, the black and white stuff, of course. She went through a dark phase getting herself off. Oh, and I love this photo of her. I could go on and on. I will do a video at a later date. But then the artwork went from black and white. There she is recuperating. That's another one. To vivid colour. And she became famous and was selling her work to famous people. And just travelled the world, met a lot of interesting people. In her home in Il Porto, she had I think it was upward of 100 dogs that she would save. But when I met her, I actually met her a couple of times. Hang on. The first time was at an art gallery in Melbourne when she was showing her work. And I went there with a man I wasn't involved with, but he was always trying to be involved with me. And I think she picked up on it. And there was a point where she came up to me and grabbed my upper arms and just looked at me right in the face and said, "Courage." And I was a little bit confused, but I realized afterwards that she thought that I was with him. And I did have to use a bit of courage to get him away. He was a bit of a stalker. He was creepy. One of those people who thinks that he's a guru and he's trying to guide you, spiritually. But and then the next time I met her was I just went into a gallery at the Nicholas Building in Melbourne, Australia. Excuse my cat in the background being a naughty girl. I went to her studio in a beautiful old rickety ornate wrought iron, or was it cast iron? I can't remember, but this beautiful elevator that would take you up to her studio. I would bring her coffee. I'd sit with her. She had a chicken as a pet at the time. In the gallery, lots of colourful cushions everywhere, and I would talk with her and she'd tell me her stories. At the time, she had a young man staying with her. She often had young men, but he was abusive, and she was talking about how people just flocked to her just to get money from her. But anyway, I'm going to start putting on the eyes. We'll see how that goes. Um, but she asked me, of course, I was younger. That was like 23 years ago, or 24 years ago, the year before she died, um, to sit for her to do a portrait. I wish I had have gone back quick enough to do it. I would have loved to have been drawn by her. She, for some reason, was fascinated with my face. Anyway, we also went to the Young and Jackson Hotel up to the Chloe Bar where we would eat and drink. And I never dance. I'm very self-conscious, but for some reason with her, I just she would tell me, "Come on, get up and dance with me." Then there'd be a whole group of us all dancing, and just had a wonderful time hearing her stories. It was interesting because there was a lot of people around her who um, were very protective of her, and I understand that. But it's amazing when you're around famous people, other people who are hangers on tend to try to act like I'm her best friend or I'm her closest ally, or just weird behavior. I was just happy to be there, to be with her. She was my idol in terms of the artistic stuff. Starting to look like a strange kabuki panda. But anyway, I really valued the times when it was just her and I sitting in the studio talking. Every time I'd call to make sure it was us okay to come, she'd say, "Bring me a coffee, love." So I can't remember exactly what it was. I don't think it had sugar in it, but it was a really dark, rich blend that she liked. And like I said, I'd sit there for ages. I even wrote her a poem. I don't know if the Valley Myers Trust still has it. Um, but she loved the poem and told me that it reminded her of Yeats. She said it was very prosy and she just really loved it. So, anyway, that's one eye. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see how well I'm doing. So, it could be hilarious. And I think I'll do the inner rim because it looks like that's what she did too. But famous people like Debbie Harry were friends with her, and I know people would go and buy her work, like I think it was the actor Peter Weller from RoboCop. Um, she would tell me all these stories about people, good, bad, and ugly. Her time in the Chelsea Hotel in America, and yeah, just a fascinating person. Um, I'm doing this the best I can without my glasses on. I might adjust it once I put my glasses back on. But the scary thing is going to be doing the moustache and the facial stuff. Um, I think that's as close as I need to go um, because she didn't go all the way up and she probably blended it a lot better. I didn't even blend, I just applied. But so that's the eyes. I'm going to now attempt to do the face tattoos. Now, she had 3 dots on either side of her nose. My old skin. So hers were more coming down. A little bit wonky and messy. But it's not about being perfect. To me, it's like when you're dressing up as someone, especially someone who existed. Yes, lovey. Uh, you want to get it perfect, but at the same time, it doesn't have to be perfect. So this is going to be the trick, doing the spirit moustache. She also had a little dot right there at the bottom, and also above the eyebrows she has like an upside down bird or a wave there. But then actually doing it in the camera is not good, so I'll do it here. And she had a different shaped face too, but oh, I stuffed it. Shut up. Not talking to you. And of course hers was tattooed and a lot better than this, but there's tiny little she would do, or she had little bits like that. And of course, what she did before she got her face tattooed permanently with these markings, she would practice with the makeup for ages. She just wanted to make sure she got it absolutely right. She would tattoo other people too. So now I'm going to first of all start doing the little lines. Oh, I don't know how I should hold my mouth. And of course I have wrinkles, so then from the center it comes out to connect with there, and I don't know if I should draw up. Shush. Close enough. Like I said, I'm no makeup artist. That'll be close enough. I don't want to go too heavy either. And then underneath a little curl, so I'm going to be as careful as I can. Don't know if I should stick my mouth out or what. Close but no cigar. A little bit wonky. Try not to go too heavy. And then underneath her mouth, it goes on. It's a little bit scary, so. And then she had a cross. Bit wonky. Now, of course, and she was using the tattoo, of course, was indigo. This is black, so it's probably going to be a lot more stark. And then so that is as far as I'm going to go, because the more I try to redo it or go over it, the worse it's going to get. I'm going to put the wig on now. Now, this was, you know, something I got online in on Amazon, and it's probably more curly. Her hair was more shaggy than curly, and when I brushed it out, I realised the curls were probably going to be a little boofy, so we'll see how it goes. Um, Shush, will ya? This is time to laugh. I've probably been laughing along, but that's okay. Let's see. And I've got a fat head too. So, here's Valley. Not Valley. I had a cat called Valley. That's Rose, being her usual baby self. So, as you can see, the hair's probably a lot more curly than what hers was. Now, I could easily, if I was going cosplay or going somewhere, of course I'd do the makeup a lot better. Got to pull that down a bit, but I should brush out the wig too to make it more shaggy than what it is. But if I come in closer, let me take the glasses off. Jesus, I don't think she ever. Oh, she did wear glasses when she was reading, but oh, I haven't put the lipstick on. Let me do that. It's really weird when you see yourself dressed up, especially as someone else. It's not disconcerting, but and I know with my skin tone, this red probably doesn't look good. But if I was going to a dress up or a fancy dress party, I would feel confident, especially if I had the clothes. She wore a lot of bohemian style stuff, sometimes mix and match that you think wouldn't go together, but once it was all together, it was beautiful. It was a personification of who she was as a person. And look at me with the part not exactly centre. But I'm going to put on the lipstick now. She would wear red often. I don't think she wore any other colour. But let's see. Don't even have lip liner, but I don't think she did either. And of course, once I'm done, I'm going to take it all off. I use olive oil. I don't use expensive makeup removers. Olive oil's great. It whisks it away really quickly, and you've already got it in the kitchen. But let me just put my glasses on for a sec. Just want to make sure. So that's the outcome. And when I put on this, when I'm dressing like her here, it's not making fun of her. I feel like it's paying homage to her. Um, Nothing like the original, of course, the beautiful Valley Myers. But Sometimes, if I'm in the mood, I might dress up like this, especially if I'm doing some writing or drawing, just to embody her spirit and um, to get in the mood, to get into the vibe. Yes, Rose. But that's me dressing up as my favourite Australian artist. Well, my favourite artist, period. There's lots of other people I love, but when it comes to dressing up as someone, she's the number one to me. Anyway, I hope this was interesting to you, and feel free to comment. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe already. You really help the channel out. And look forward to some new videos where I'm sharing other personas throughout history. I won't be getting dressed up as them, I might here and there, but just sharing them just as historical figures, just sort of like the mythological totems. But blessed be.